Part 1 ended with Elena locked in a cell, drowning in betrayal. Kang Ju Won killed her father. Min Seok revealed the truth. Everything she thought she knew was a lie. Now Elena must face an impossible choice. Trust the man who destroyed her world, or lose the only family she has left. If you are new here, kindly check Part 1 so you understand, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment of what you think. Welcome to Part 2. The shadow figure took another step into the cell. Elena's breath caught. She'd been alone in this darkness, bleeding, zip ties cutting into her wrists until the pain became white noise. And now, this. The figure moved closer. Light from the hallway caught the edge of a face. Male, rough features, eyes that gleamed with something that made Elena's stomach drop. Not Min Seok, one of his men. The stocky one who'd laughed when they dragged her down here. Pretty thing, he slurred in Korean, his voice thick with soju. All alone. Elena's pulse spiked. The zip ties held her wrists pinned to the armrests. Trapped. Completely trapped. The boss said, "You're worthless now." He stepped fully into the cell. The door swung shut with a soft click. Darkness and his breathing, heavy and wet. Kang Ju Won won't come for you, which means nobody cares what happens down here. Get away from me. He laughed, low and ugly. Or what? He fumbled with his belt buckle. Elena's heart slammed against her ribs. No, no, not this. The door exploded inward. Wood splintered. Metal shrieked. The man spun around just as a hand locked around his throat, lifting him completely off his feet and slamming him into the concrete wall. The impact cracked the stone. Kang Ju Won stood in the doorway, and he wasn't alone. Behind him, armed men in dark tactical gear spread through the hallway. Gunfire erupted from somewhere deeper in the building, sharp bursts echoing through concrete corridors, shouting, heavy footsteps, the chaos of a full assault. But Kang Ju Won's focus was absolute. His suit jacket was gone, white shirt sleeves rolled to his elbows, splattered with blood that wasn't his. His face was carved from ice and murder. "She's mine!" Kang Ju Won said, his voice lethally soft. The man choked, clawing at the hand crushing his windpipe. A wet gurgle. The man's face turned purple. "I'm sorry, please." A sickening crack. The body went limp. Kang Ju Won released him. The corpse crumpled like a puppet with cut strings. One of his men appeared in the doorway. "Boss, we need to move. Clear the route. 2 minutes." The man disappeared. Kang Ju Won stepped over the body, pulled a knife from his belt. The blade caught the dim light as he moved toward Elena. She flinched back. "Don't! We're leaving!" He reached for her wrists. The knife flashed. First zip tie snapped, then the second. Her hands came free. Blood rushed back into her fingers with painful pins and needles. Dark lines, marked where the plastic had cut deep. Her hands shook, from pain, from fear, from hours of crying in the dark, and then something inside her snapped. She pushed herself up from the chair. Her hand flew up and cracked across his face. The slap echoed like a gunshot. Kang Ju Won's head turned with the impact, a red mark blooming across his cheek. He went completely still. Elena's chest heaved. "You killed him!" Her voice shook. "You killed my father!" Kang Ju Won didn't move, didn't speak. "You stood there on that phone and told me you ran his car off a bridge. You made it burn. You looked me in the eye and pretended—" "Elena, don't." Her legs trembled but held, barely. "Don't say my name." She moved. Her hand shot to his hip. Fingers closed around cold metal. She yanked the gun free and brought it up between them. The barrel pressed against his chest, right over his heart. Kang Ju Won froze. In the hallway, his men shifted. Weapons came up. But Kang Ju Won raised one hand. Silent command. They held positions. Elena's finger found the trigger. The gun was heavier than she expected. Her hands shook. Exhaustion, adrenaline, rage bleeding together. Put the gun down, Elena. His voice was too calm. Why? The word came out broken. You killed my father. You bought me like I was nothing. Give me one reason why I shouldn't pull this trigger. Because you're smarter than that. She laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. Am I? I wasn't smart enough to see what you were. I wasn't smart enough to know that the man who destroyed my life was standing right in front of me. Making me feel... Her voice cracked. Kang Ju Won's eyes didn't leave hers. Then do it. Pull the trigger. Her finger tightened. More gunfire erupted above them. Closer. The building shook. Pull the trigger, Elena? Kang Ju Won said quietly, if that's what you need. The gun barrel pressed harder. She could feel his heartbeat through the metal. Steady. Slow. I hate you. Tears blurred her vision. I hate you so much I can't breathe. I know. I'll never forgive you. I know that too. Her hand shook violently. Then why? Why did you come? Pull that trigger, Kang Ju Won interrupted, something colder entering his voice. See what happens. Elena's breath caught. What? He didn't elaborate, just watched her. And then she understood. The men in the hallway, the extraction protocol, enemy territory. You're lying, she whispered. Am I? Her hands trembled harder. They wouldn't just leave. I die. They extract. 30 seconds. Gone. His jaw tightened. And Park Min Seok will find you, immediately, and what he does to you will make everything I've done look like mercy. The gun felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. Elena's vision blurred. The gun. His life. Her father. Everything was burning behind her eyes. Kill him, die here or survive, and hate him for the rest of her life. One of Kang Ju Won's men called. Out, urgently. Boss, we're out of time! Elena's finger trembled on the trigger. Pull it, just pull it. But her hands were shaking too hard. Her whole body was shaking, and she was so tired. The gun slipped. Her knees buckled. Kang Ju Won caught the gun before it fell. His other hand steadied her elbow, kept her upright. Don't! She tried to pull away. Don't touch me! He took the gun from her shaking hands, holstered it, stepped back immediately. Elena's legs wouldn't hold her. She sank against the chair, tears streaming down her face. She'd chosen survival, and she hated herself for it. Let's go, Kang Ju Won said. Elena forced herself to stand. Her legs shook, but she stood. I said don't touch me, she said, her voice hollow. I'll walk on my own. She took one step, stumbled, caught herself on the doorframe before he could reach for her. I'll walk on my own. He didn't argue, just gestured to the hallway. Then walk. Elena's first step into the hallway nearly sent her to her knees. Her legs had forgotten how to work. Now every muscle screamed in protest, but she wouldn't fall, wouldn't give him the satisfaction. The hallway was a slaughterhouse, bodies everywhere, Park's men mostly. Blood pooled on concrete floors, smeared across walls. The metallic smell was thick enough to taste. Elena's stomach turned. She pressed one hand against the wall, steadying herself. Keep moving. His voice came from behind her. Close, but not touching. We don't have time. I'm moving. But she wasn't. Not really. Her feet felt like lead. Her vision swam. One of Kang Ju Won's men appeared at the end of the corridor. Boss! Routes clear to the south stairwell. Park's reinforcements incoming. 20, maybe more. Kang Ju Won's jaw tightened. Get everyone to the vehicles. 3 minutes. The man disappeared. Elena forced herself forward. One step, then another. Her wrists throbbed where the zip ties had cut deep. Blood dripped from her fingertips. They reached the stairwell. Metal door. Exit sign flickering. Kang Ju Won pushed it open. Clear. Stay close. Elena grabbed the doorframe, pulled herself through. The stairs stretched down into darkness. 3 flights, maybe 4. She made it 5 steps before her leg gave out. Her knee buckled. She caught herself on the railing, breathing hard. Elena! I'm fine. She gritted her teeth, forced herself upright. I said, I'm fine. She wasn't fine. But she would walk, even if it killed her. 2 more flights. Gunfire echoed from above. Shouting. Heavy boots on concrete. They were coming. Kang Ju Won's radio crackled. Boss, they've breached the 2nd floor. We need to move now. Can you run? He asked. No. Elena. I can barely walk. So no, I can't run. His jaw clenched. Then we go faster. Bottom of the stairwell. Another door. Underground parking garage. 3 black SUVs idling near the exit. Engines running. His men positioned behind. Concrete pillars. Weapons trained on the entrance. Move! Kang Ju Won's hand closed around her elbow. Elena jerked away. Don't! The door behind them exploded. Gunfire erupted. Automatic weapons. Deafening. Kang Ju Won's men returned fire. Muzzle flashes lit up the garage. Bullets ricocheted off concrete. Glass shattered. Elena froze. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. Then something slammed into her shoulder. Not a hand. Not a push. Impact. Heat. Pain. Elena stumbled forward. Her legs gave out. She hit the concrete hard. What? She touched her shoulder. Her hand came away red. Blood. She'd been shot. Elena! Kang Ju Won's voice cut through the noise. Hands grabbed her, lifted her. She tried to push them away, but her arms wouldn't work. I've got you! Kang Ju Won's face appeared above her, and something cracked in his expression. Stay with me! You hear me? Elena tried to speak. Couldn't. The pain in her shoulder was spreading, white hot. The world tilted. She was moving, being carried. His arms locked around her, one hand pressed against her shoulder, trying to stop the bleeding. More gunfire. The SUV door opened. Drive! Kang Ju Won's voice, sharp. Now! Eleanor's head lolled against his chest. She could hear his heartbeat. Fast. Too fast. Stay awake! His hand cupped her face. Elena, look at me. She tried, but the darkness was pulling her down. The last thing she heard was his voice, low and fierce. Don't you dare die on me! Then nothing. Elena woke to pain, not sharp, dull, deep, radiating from her shoulder in waves that made her stomach turn. She tried to move, couldn't. Her body felt heavy, unresponsive. Where? Her eyes opened, ceiling, white, unfamiliar, not the concrete cell, not Park's prison, somewhere else. A room, small, clean, a bed beneath her, actual bed, not a chair. Her right shoulder was bandaged, thick white gauze wrapped around it. Professional, neat. Someone had treated her. Elena looked down at herself, and her breath caught. Clean clothes, soft cotton shirt, loose pants. Not hers. Not the bloody dress from the gala. Someone had changed her while she was unconscious, while she had no say, no choice. Someone had undressed her, seen her, touched her skin like she was a doll. The violation of it hit her like ice water. Her hands started shaking. She couldn't stop them, couldn't stop the nausea rising in her throat, or the way her skin crawled, or the knowledge that even unconscious, even broken, she still wasn't safe, still wasn't hers. She pushed herself up with her left arm. The room spun. Pain screamed through her shoulder, but she didn't care. She had to sit up. Had to. That's when she saw him. Kang Ju Won sat in a chair by the window, still, silent, watching her. How long had he been there? How long had he been watching her sleep? His shirt was clean now, no blood. But his face looked different. Tired, dark circles under his eyes, jaw tight like he'd been clenching it for hours. You're awake. His voice was quiet, careful. Elena's hands clenched in the sheets. Where am I? Safe house, 20 kilometers outside Seoul. How long? 8 hours. He didn't move from the chair. You lost blood. The bullet went through clean. You were lucky. Lucky. Who changed my clothes? The question hung in the air between them. Kang Ju Won's expression didn't change. A doctor. Woman. I stayed outside. And I'm supposed to believe that. Believe what you want. You needed medical attention. You got it. 8 hours. 8 hours she'd been unconscious, helpless, completely at his mercy. Again. Always again. Don't look at me like that, she said, her voice raw. Don't sit there and act like you care. I'm not acting. You killed my father. The words ripped out of her. So don't sit there and pretend, Elena, and don't say my name. She tried to swing her legs off the bed. Pain exploded through her shoulder, white hot and vicious. She gasped, vision blurring. Kang Ju Won was on his feet immediately. Don't move, you'll tear the stitches. Stay away from me. You need to rest. I said stay away. Her voice broke. Tears burned behind her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not in front of him. Never in front of him. You don't get to touch me. You don't get to save me and act like that makes it okay. Like that erases what you did. He stopped, 3 feet away, hands at his sides. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. Elena's breathing was ragged. Her shoulder throbbed with every heartbeat. Everything hurt. Are you going to tell me? She asked finally, her voice barely above a whisper. Are you going to tell me why you killed my father and imprisoned me? Kang Ju Won's jaw worked. His hands flexed at his sides, once, twice, like he was fighting something inside himself. Then his eyes closed, just for a second, just long enough for Elena to see the crack. When he opened them again, something had shifted. Yes, he said. Then tell me. Elena's hands trembled in her lap. Tell me why I shouldn't have pulled that trigger. Tell me why you're not the monster I know you are. He didn't answer immediately. Instead, he reached into his pocket, slowly, deliberately. Elena tensed, but he pulled out something small, metal catching the light, a necklace, silver chain pooling in his palm, something dangling from it. Elena's breath stopped. No, it couldn't be. He held it out between them. The chain swayed slightly, and Elena saw it clearly. The locket, small, oval, tarnished silver with a tiny clasp on the side. Her father's locket, the one he never took off, not once in her entire life, the one that held the only photos he had left of her mother, the one that should have burned with him in the car 3 years ago, the one that should be ash and memory and nothing more. No. The word came out strangled. Her heart wasn't beating anymore. She was, sure of it. Everything had stopped. Her breath, her blood, time itself. He stepped closer, extended his hand. The locket swayed gently. Elena's hand moved without permission, shaking so badly she could barely control it. Her fingers closed around the locket, cold metal, solid, real. She pulled it toward her, stared at it in her palm. The same scratches on the surface, the same worn clasp. Her thumb found the clasp. She didn't want to open it, couldn't bear to see what was inside. Because if the photos were there, if her father's face was looking back at her, she opened it. 2 photos, faded but clear. Her father on the left, young, smiling that rare smile he only had in old pictures. Before her mother died, before everything went dark, her mother on the right, beautiful, alive, looking at the camera like she could see through time to this exact moment. The room disappeared. Elena couldn't breathe, couldn't think. The locket trembled in her hand, and she realized she was shaking. Her whole body, violent tremors she couldn't control. Where did you get this? Her voice didn't sound like hers. Where? How? Your father gave it to me, Kang Ju Won said quietly. His voice sounded far away, like he was speaking through water. 3 years ago, the night I was supposed to kill him. Elena's vision blurred. The photos swam. I didn't kill your father, Elena. She looked up at him. Tears streaming down her face now, hot and unstoppable. Kang Ju Won's expression was raw, open, more human than she'd ever seen him. I saved him. The locket slipped from Elena's fingers. The locket hit the floor with a soft clink. Elena stared at Kang Ju Won. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. You're lying. The words finally came, broken and desperate. You're lying. He's dead. I went to his funeral. I saw that there was a body. There was a burned corpse in a car that went off a bridge outside Busan. His voice was steady. Dental records matched, because I made them match. Death certificates signed, because I paid the right people. Your father's death was real enough on paper. No. Elena shook her head. The room spun. No, you're lying. You're trying to manipulate me. Why would I lie about this? Because you're a monster. Her voice cracked. Because you want me compliant. If I wanted you compliant, I'd tell you he was dead and wouldn't show you this necklace. His jaw tightened. Telling you he's alive makes everything harder. Elena couldn't breathe. 3 years ago, he said quietly. Park Min Seok ordered your father killed. I took the job. Then you did kill him. I was going to. He didn't look away. I found him in Busan. Gun to his head. Standard execution. Elena's hands gripped the sheets. He didn't beg for his life, Kang Ju Won continued. He pulled out his wallet. Showed me a photo. Silence. Of you. Maybe 19. College photo. Smiling. Elena's breath. Caught. He said, Please, my daughter. She has no one else. Kang Ju Won's voice was different now, raw. And I looked at that photo, at your face, and He stopped, his hands flexed. I couldn't do it, he said finally. I couldn't make you an orphan. So you saved him. Elena's voice was hollow. Out of the goodness of your heart. I'm not a good man, Elena. Don't mistake mercy for goodness. Then why? I don't know. The admission seemed to cost him. I've killed hundreds, never hesitated, never looked back. But that photo, your face, he exhaled. Something stopped me. Elena's throat burned. What did you do? Staged his death, found a body, put him in your father's car, made sure there was enough fire that identification would be difficult but possible, made the records match. And my father, I kept him, hidden, safe. Kang Ju Won's expression was unreadable. Park thinks he's dead. That's the only way he stays alive. Where is he? The question burst out. Where is he now? Kang Ju Won's jaw tightened. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He escaped 3 months ago. Elena's world tilted. Escaped? You mean you were keeping him prisoner? I was keeping him alive. Against his will? Kang Ju Won didn't answer. So, you didn't save him. Elena's voice shook with fury. You just traded one prison for another, for 3 years. 3 years he's been... Her breath hitched. Did he know about me? Did he know I thought he was dead? Yes. And you kept him from me anyway. If Park found out he was alive, he'd have killed you both. Kang Ju Won's voice hardened. Your father understood that. Understood or accepted because he had no choice. Silence. Elena wanted to scream. Why did you take me? If my father's been gone for 3 months, why now? You witnessed something. A murder. One of Park's men executed someone and you are a witness. You didn't see it clearly. You were on your phone. But you were there. Security footage caught you. Elena's stomach dropped. She remembered. Weeks ago. Walking home late. She'd heard something. A sound that might have been a gunshot. She'd looked up briefly, seen nothing, and kept walking. He doesn't take chances, Kang Ju Won continued. He put out a kill order. You had maybe a week. So, you found me first. Yes, using my uncle's debt as an excuse. It gave me legal cover. Park couldn't object without revealing why he wanted you dead. I didn't manipulate your uncle into gambling. That part was a lie. I just told Min Seok what he wanted to hear. Elena's head was spinning. Her father is alive. 3 years of grief for nothing, and now missing. Where would he go? She asked. If he escaped? I don't know. I've been looking. You mean he knows how to hide from you? Kang Ju Won's expression flickered. Yes. Because he doesn't trust you. No, he doesn't. Good. Elena's voice was cold. He shouldn't. Neither should I. Elena, don't. She held up her hand. You saved his life. Fine. I believe you. But you also imprisoned him for 3 years, kept him from me. Let me grieve. Tears burned behind her eyes. And then you took me, bought me, controlled me. You made me feel like like you weren't. She couldn't finish. The room felt too small. Kang Ju Won standing there watching her. She couldn't think. Not with him here. Get out. Kang Ju Won didn't move. Elena! Get out! Her voice cracked. I need you to leave. Now. His jaw tightened. For a moment he looked like he wanted to argue. But then he nodded. I'll be outside if you need. I won't. He turned toward the door. Find him, Elena said quietly. Find my father. That's what you owe me. Kang Ju Won looked back. Something raw crossed his face. I will! Then he was gone. The door clicked shut. Elena sat in the silence, staring at the locket on the floor. Her father was alive. 3 years of grief for nothing. The tears came then, hot and furious. They streamed down her face, and she couldn't stop them. Her body shook with sobs, and every tremor sent fresh pain through her wounded shoulder. She didn't care. Let it hurt, because her father was alive and she couldn't reach him. Elena leaned back against the pillows, tears pouring down her face, and let herself break. 3 days. 3 days since Kang Ju Won had left her alone in this room. 3 days since she'd learned her father was alive. 3 days of silence. He'd tried. She'd heard him outside the door multiple times, footsteps stopping, pausing. The handle turned slightly, then stopped. His voice once quiet through the wood. Elena, please. She hadn't answered, couldn't answer, because what was there to say? Her father was alive but imprisoned for 3 years, alive but missing, alive but she still couldn't reach him. And Kang Ju Won, the man who'd saved him, imprisoned him, saved her, bought her, made her feel things she shouldn't feel, was the reason for all of it. So she'd stayed in this room. The shoulder wound ached less now. The doctor, the woman Kang Ju Won claimed had treated her, had come twice to change the bandages. Elena hadn't spoken to her either. Just let her work in silence. Food appeared on a tray outside her door 3 times a day. Elena ate enough to survive. Nothing more. She was waiting. For what? She didn't know. The door opened. Elena's head snapped up. Not Kang Ju Won. One of his men. Younger. Mid-20s maybe. She'd seen him before. He stepped inside, closed the door behind him. What do you want? Elena's voice was rough from disuse. He didn't answer, just pulled out a phone, held it toward her. Elena's stomach dropped. What is that? Just take it. Something in his voice made her skin crawl. Too calm, too controlled. She reached out slowly, took the phone from his hand. The screen was black. Then it lit up. Incoming video call. Unknown number. Elena's heart slammed against her ribs. Who? Answer it. the man said. Her finger hovered over the screen. Every instinct screamed not to, but her hand moved anyway. She accepted the call, the screen filled with an image that made her blood turn to ice. A room, concrete walls, single bulb hanging from the ceiling, and tied to a chair in the centre. Dad! The word came out broken. Her father's head lifted. His face was bruised, swollen, blood crusted at his hairline, one eye nearly shut. But he was looking at the camera, looking at her. Elena! His voice cracked. Elena! Baby! Dad! She stood up too fast. Pain shot through her shoulder, but she didn't care. Dad! Where are you? Are you... I'm okay! But he wasn't. She could see it. The way he held himself. The shallow breathing. I'm okay. Just listen. The camera shifted. A figure moved into frame. Face obscured by shadows. Voice distorted. Mechanical. Elena. The name came out twisted through the voice modulator. How nice to finally meet you. Elena's hand shook so badly she almost dropped the phone. Who are you? What do you want-y? What do I want-y? A laugh. Cold. Amused. I won to you to make a choice. Her father's head jerked up. No! Elena, don't listen. Something struck him. Hard. His head snapped to the side. Dad! Elena screamed. He's fine. The distorted voice was casual, unbothered. For now. Whether he stays fine depends entirely on you. What do you want-y? Eleanor's voice shook. Money? I don't want your money. The figure moved closer to her father. A hand reached out, gripped his hair, yanked his head back. Her father's face twisted in pain. I want Kang Ju Won. Elena's breath stopped. You have something he values. The voice continued. Access, trust, proximity. A pause. You're going to kill him for me. I can't. I don't. You can. The hand released her father's hair. And you will. Because if you don't... A knife appeared in the frame, long, gleaming. The blade pressed against her father's throat. Your father dies. No! Elena's vision blurred with tears. Please, I'll do anything else. Just don't. This isn't a negotiation. The knife pressed harder. A thin line of blood appeared on her father's neck. Kill Kang Ju Won. Prove it to me, or I'll send you pieces of your father until there's nothing left. Her father's eyes found the camera. Found her. Elena, don't. I'm not worth... The knife lifted. Struck. Her father's body convulsed. Stop! Elena screamed. Stop, please. I'll do it. I'll do it. Just stop. The knife paused. Good girl. The distorted voice was pleased. I'll be in touch with instructions. And Elena? A pause. Don't tell Kang Ju Won. Don't warn him. Don't try to run. I have eyes everywhere. The second you betray me, your father dies screaming. Understand? Elena couldn't speak, could only nod. Say it. I understand. The words tasted like ash. Excellent. The figure moved away from her father. I'll be watching. The screen went black. Elena stared at it, at her own reflection in the dark glass. Tears streamed down her face, hands shaking so violently the phone rattled. She looked up at the man who'd brought her the phone. He was smiling. You're one of them, she whispered. You're working for... Doesn't matter who I'm working for. He reached out, took the phone back. What matters is what you're going to do. I can't kill him. Eleanor's voice broke. I don't know how to... You'll figure it out. He turned toward the door. You've got his trust. That's all you need. Wait. Elena took a step forward. Her legs nearly gave out. How will I know when... You'll know. He opened the door, paused, looked back at her. And if you tell Kang Ju Won about this conversation, if you warn him, your father dies immediately. Then you die. He left. The door clicked shut. Elena stood frozen in the centre of the room. Then Her knees gave out. She sank to the floor, back against the bed. I can't. Her voice barely a whisper. I can't do this. She pressed her palms against her eyes, felt the tears burning through. He saved you, she whispered to herself. He saved Dad. 3 years. He kept him alive for 3 years. The image flashed behind her eyes again. The knife, her father's throat, the blood. But Dad's dying. Her hands dropped. She stared at nothing. What do I do? The question came out broken, raw. What am I supposed to do? The locket sat on the nightstand, her parents' faces frozen in time, smiling, happy, before everything went wrong. Elena pulled herself up, grabbed the locket, opened it with trembling fingers. What do I do? She whispered to the photos. Tell me what to do. Silence. No answer. Just the weight of the locket in her hand and the impossible choice burning in her chest. Kill the man who saved her father, or watch her father die. Elena's father is alive, but keeping him that way might cost her everything, including the one person she never expected to care about. The choice will break her. The consequences will break you. Part 3 is coming. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it.